There are about a dozen deportee shelters in downtown Tijuana, and every morning they empty as people make their way on foot to a bright yellow building on the outskirts of downtown. It's the Padre Chava Breakfast Hall and Shelter. On this morning, there are so many people that the line snakes back and forth on both sides of the street. For many, this will be their only meal today. Many also wish it could be their last meal in this city.
Sí me da miedo, pero por mi gente yo me voy a ir.
Domingo Pomposo lived in San Diego for 16 years. He had 3 children, but 2 months ago he was deported to Tijuana after a DUI conviction. He says the prospect of crossing the border again is daunting, which is why he's waited 2 months. But he says he has to try for his children. If the lure of a job or reuniting with family is what draws many Mexicans to the U.S. in the first place, it's that same hope that keeps them in Tijuana even after they've been deported.
Muchos cuando llegan aquí a Tijuana están en una realidad como de shock.
Father Ernesto Hernandez Ruiz helps run this kitchen. He says many recent deportees arrive in a state of shock.
Los que son deportados pues sienten
People
como
are left
desplazados,
displaced,
ellos no
he
quieren
says.
estar aquí.
They don't want to be here, they try to cross the border again and fail. They find their lives are in disarray. But the lure of the U.S. just over that fence can be stronger than ever because of a family or loose ends that many left behind. This breakfast hall is a sort of staging ground for many people's next steps. Isaias Garcia was first deported 5 years ago. He managed to get back into California then, but he says that because of that first deportation, immigration agents arrived at his Monterey home 6 weeks ago, arrested him, and sent him to Tijuana for a second time.
My first thought was like, damn, I'm back again, you know?
Garcia lived in the U.S. a total of 25 years. Now he, too, is at the breakfast hall, volunteering in exchange for a place to sleep. He has his mind set on one thing.
Plan the next trip. Stay for a little while, I don't know, collect your thoughts, and then go back to the U.S.
It's not that easy, of course. Many people who've tried crossing in recent years tell stories of kidnappings or extortion by men who pretend to be smugglers. But many try nonetheless.
Yo por ir con mis hijos no me importa arriesgarme la vida.
I'll risk my life to be with my kids, Pomposo says, but he hopes it won't come to that. Many deportees have been talking about a provision in the impending immigration reform bill that would let some deported people return to the U.S. legally if they have family there.
Sí me interesa saber si se va a poder.
He says if that's a possibility, he'll wait the bill out. But if the bill doesn't include that provision, he'll be trekking through the hills sooner rather than later.
De verdad.
Another deportee, Victor Manuel Beltran, won't be waiting around. He and a friend were recently deported after rolling through a stop sign in Los Angeles. When they arrived at this hall, they just wanted to return to their hometown. Every week, the hall gets government money to put a few deportees on a plane back home. The directors asked Beltran if he wanted to go. He said yes. On this morning, after helping to serve a few hundred plates of food, Beltran and his friend hop into an SUV bound for the airport.
Preferimos irnos a nuestra tierra, batallar allá.
We thought about staying, he says, but we prefer to go back to our land. It's a struggle, but at least we're with our own people there.
Se vino uno con un sueño.
I crossed with a dream, he says, and I came back defeated. My family told me not to go, that those dreams only come true in movies. They were right as always, he says. Beltran's parents don't even know he's been deported. He wants to surprise them, but he says he's afraid that when he shows up in his town, they'll say, "We told you." Adrian Florido, KPBS News.